Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the ESP number 15RL. This is a ratchet sliding lock. This is a lock that's going to include a couple of different locking bars in it. And let's cut this open and take a closer look at it. Locks like this are used to, of course, secure sliding. Well, I see it on sliding glass doors myself, but it doesn't have to be a glass door. This client ordered several of these because they want them all key-to-like. And this is an ES201 is the bidding on this, or the indirect code for the bidding on this lock set. Okay, so what this is going to do is going to be able to, obviously engage the rack that is on the locking bar here, okay? And that's what the action of the cylinder is going to work with. So the way that these work is that you have basically, the way I just slid it together, imagine if we have one piece of glass back here, and then another piece of glass here, which means that I can't push them together in this direction because I have my glass captive or my panel captive here, and then I have it captive over on this side as well. Okay, that's how that works. Now they have two of these locking bars, and I suspect that one's going to be allowing you to handle glass in particular. So let's pull that out now. Okay, so you can remove the lock in only the unlocked position. It will only rotate counterclockwise. Well, depending on how you install it, I suppose. You turn that, and then you can just slide. You'll slide, that off. Basically, is how that works. Okay. Now the other sliding ratchet is here, and before we get that far, we need to know how thick of a panel that first ratchet can, or that locking bar can work with. So the inside dimension here is 0.28 inch, so that's going to be intended for 1/4 inch thick. Then we have this other unit here that has a fixed rubber tip on it that obviously you can thread in. And I'm pretty sure that's going to get us all the way to 1/2 inch glass, or out to 1/2 inch, and that rubber bumper there would be intended for glass. And yeah, indeed, my caliper is telling me basically 0.53 inch. So yeah, 1/2 inch glass is going to be perfect for that. You'll then get in there and tighten that down. That's how that's going to work. Okay. Now, when it comes to showcase locks, I can't say that there's anything in particular that's unusual about this. It does have this feature on the back that will work towards splitting the panels open at all. And if you have glass, I don't think someone's going to try to split those or spread the two pieces of glass open. But if you've got some wood, yeah, I think I think you'll be able to flex the wood out, and that's going to, this ledge, the shoulder is going to keep that inner panel from being pushed open if someone were to work a tool inside of there. Obviously incredibly low security when you're dealing with a wafer lock. There might be 5 wafers in there. 1, 2, 3, appears to be 5. What is nice about it is you don't have to worry about whether you're doing a 1/4 inch panel or glass that's basically 1/2 inch thick. A couple of basic dimensions, just for the sake of taking them. Overall height of the lock body, about 1 5/16 inches. Overall thickness, about 1 inch. Overall length of the standard bar, it's about 4 5/8. I would imagine this to be no different. Indeed, 2 original keys. Now, what's nice about the ESP line, which is under Hudson Lock, which is, I think, under HPC, a name very synonymous with locksmithing, key cutting machines and other tools, is that you can order these key-to-like. I have a client looking for a lock from another vendor of this material, and they don't offer them key-to-like. Well, ESP does, and that's awfully nice. You know, this client ordered 20 of them. I mean, can you imagine 40 keys with 20 locks that are all keyed differently? So let's switch to the screen view where we can take a look at the manufacturer's supporting documentation for this item. Okay, so here is the item that we're looking at. Not a lot to see here really, but the link to the manufacturer's page is here, and that's awfully handy because it will allow us to review not only all of the ESP locks that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to that product catalog. And what I like to do is copy the part number, then go to the catalog, and you can certainly scroll through it. If you have more than an occasional need for showcase locks and cam locks as well, you probably want to take a look at the catalog. But you can do a find function on your keyboard for 15RL, and you will indeed find the two instances where it occurs. It does say 2. The first is a cross-reference chart to these other manufacturers' locks. Fort, National Chicago, Corbin Cabinet Lock, and Ilco. Many decades ago, Corbin Cabinet Lock was a part of the P.F. Corbin Company. And they sold that cabinet lock division off. Still alive and well. So it does have a couple of cross-references. The second match is that it shows up on a page called Specialty Locks, Ratchet Showcase Locks. And what's about the 15RL that sets it apart from the 8 and 7RL is that it includes both of those ratchet bars. So they state that the adjustable clamp on the 8RL is for doors up to 11/16. You know, that's .6875. My caliper wasn't really giving me quite that much room in here, but that's a piece of rubber that's there, and that's certainly going to compress down slightly. I just didn't want to turn that counterclockwise and then compress it too much. But the catalog's clearly saying 11/16. What's nice about using the threaded knob version is that, you know, it'll kind of stay in place when it's on the door, whether it be, you know, glass or wood or metal, as it states here. So when you remove the lock from this 7RL version up to 1/4 inch thick, you know, that ratchet's going to become loose as soon as you pull your lock off. This is nice because it kind of stays in place. Okay, so there you go. The rest of this catalog, of course, again, something probably worthy of going through just to see what else exists in the world of ESP locks. Armalite lock replacement. That's for aluminum storefront is what they're mentioning here. I have no experience with ESP key cutters, but I can tell you that they obviously have some milling cutters here, some slotters, some typical key machine, some you know, typical cylinder cutters here for use in their machines. And the fact that ESP is, I don't know the corporate relationship with HPC, but if we click on their website, it'll take us to what they call Hudson Lock, HPC Hudson ESP, and then there are the key machines that we would know from HPC here, and in particular we're talking about the Blitz machine. That's probably the one that everyone thinks about when they think of HPC, the Blitz machine, which is a tool that you would use to originate a key by code, and the entire premise is this card concept with your X and Y axis wheels here. Anyway, this is not a video about key machines, but about this showcase lock. Let's wrap up this video and switch back to the camera view. In conclusion, there are a lot of people who make showcase locks. That is an absolute, you know, ubiquitous piece of hardware that's manufactured by lots of people that import it generally from overseas, as certainly this item is. What separates ESP, though, is that ability to easily get them key-to-like. And key-to-like, where you have this option of the two ratchet bars, and this shoulder. And not every showcase lock, most don't have this interior shoulder on it. And I would definitely want to keep my panels from being pushed in, meaning I would want them to be locked together without you being able to push one in or separate them, that kind of thing. You can separate the wood or metal panels so that they leave their track, etc. And while again, this would be considered low security, with a capital L. And the reason I say that is because this is a disc tumbler lock. The world of disc tumbler locks is a world connected to the overall, variants of cylinder locks, where you have lever tumblers, disc tumblers, and pin tumblers. The disc tumbler is incredibly ubiquitous. Its technology. It is specifically used for those applications where, a lock keeps an honest person honest. At the end of the day, they provide very low security, but at the end of the day, you're probably not locking up, jewelry at your jewelry store with this. This is literally just for, doctor's office, where of course we all see these. Break time for the receptionist, doors get locked so no one can just reach in and take her pen and start writing notes with her pen. That sort of security. I would recommend that you dive into the ESP and Hudson and HPC world when it comes, if you are involved at least in locksmithing. ESP is a nice bolt-on to the HPC line because as a manufacturer of locksmithing tools, it's nice to be able to offer some locks to your client base. So here you go. Any questions on the ESP number 15RL? That's a 201 keyway, and you can order these key to like, key different, etc., or any other ESP product. Please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.